We'll move on to some of the rest of the weekend's results. One of the big ones from the weekend, Chelsea-Brentford. Obviously, you just touched on Chelsea on the up. Supposedly they were. But back to square one.
Yeah, it's the same old thing we've said from the beginning. They just don't score. They do not finish their chances. They don't have a striker that is clinical. As much as we both speak quite highly of Jackson, we have throughout the season, and we like him as a player. I think it's just he's not going to get, like, right now. He's still very young and very raw to the league. He's not going to get you the goals that you need.
Yeah, whereas he's not a 20-goal season striker, is he?
Exactly. So when Nkunku comes back, I think Pot said about a month, so maybe after the next international break, then they might be able to kick on. But it's right now.
Relying on an individual player is
there's a lot of pressure on him coming.
Yeah, there's an issue in that in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Especially after it'll be 2, 3, 4 months out maybe of injury, something like that, to just come back and be that guy. Which, don't get me wrong, I think he's got the ability to be that guy, but as you said, taking in the injury, getting back into the squad, getting like the team he signed with and the team he'd now be joining is definitely different because of all the signings in between.
Yeah.
So it's weird with Chelsea because they have the players. They've had a few injuries as well, but Brentford have, I think, beaten them the last 3 years in a row now. I think at Stamford Bridge they've taken all 3 points. So,
something like that, yeah, or unbeaten, or something along those lines.
Exactly, and they've not necessarily been that great this season either, Brentford. But to win,
but they're on the up now. They're on a bit of they've hit a bit of form.
Couple of wins in a row, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's good for Brentford, definitely. Obviously, they did look a bit of a worry. Obviously, they did lose a few games. Losing at home to Everton was a big one. But now they picked up a few wins on the bounce. They look a bit more comfortable now. And obviously, when Ivan Toney does inevitably return in January, for them, that's going to be a massive boost.
Yeah, counting down the days, I think, until he gets back for them, for sure.
Definitely. Well, we'll move on to another game from this weekend. We'll move on to Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Obviously, Eddie Nketiah being the star of the show there. His first Premier League hat-trick. Yeah, fantastic performance from Arsenal, but you're playing a championship opposition, basically. And that's being generous because Sheffield United are god-awful. But you can only beat the team that's put in front of you, and Arsenal did that.
Yeah.
And they did that with excellence, really. And Eddie Nketiah's third goal, fucking hell.
Yeah, that was a great goal. Yeah. I think it shows because they rested Odegaard as well. He wasn't in the squad. Yeah. Obviously, no Jesus out injured.
But I think that is the level of where Sheffield United are at. Big teams will play you and rest big players. That's how much of a laughing stock you are. Especially as a smaller side, if you're playing these bigger teams, you want them to play their best players because that shows you a level of respect. Not one team in this league is showing Sheffield United respect. And why especially why would they?
No, I agree. And I think Arsenal had a Champions League game as well. So they come off that sort of European, bit of come down from that. So they'd be a bit more tired midweek game, whereas Sheffield had the full week and they still rested players and they still won. What was it? 4-0? 4-0?
5-0.
5-0. 5-0. So that just shows one team's going to be top 2 or 3, the other one's going to be bottom 3.
Well, the other one's going to be certainly bottom.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I must say. I mean, they're just getting trounced each week. I don't really see them putting up too much of a fight.
No.
But I'll move on to Spurs beating Palace. We'll just quickly touch on Spurs because we touched on Spurs quite a lot.
Yeah.
But despite the scoreline, it was a very comfortable win for them. I think they controlled the game. Son and Maddison being the orchestrators again of both goals and looking very decent. Spurs' second goal was a really, really good bit of play. Brennan Johnson impressed off the bench. Crystal Palace's goal, by the way, should have never stood.
The handball. Yeah, I thought it should have been given. It was odd to ruin my fantasy team as well. But the fact it even hit off his arm. Yeah, the fact it was volleyed in off of the yes, it was a slight touch of the hand. I'm not saying it was but the fact he sort of brought it down with his arm, I did think it would have been disallowed.
Yeah,
I think Brennan Johnson will be a big boost then because he's only back from injury. I think not too long ago, a couple of games.
Yeah,
maybe
he's not really. Obviously, started in the North London derby, but he's not really.
Yeah.
Not always hit the ground running. He's impressed when he's played, but the more minutes he gets, the more chances to impress he gets, and the more he does impress, for sure. The better the confidence. He'll start games.
Yeah.
Especially with Richarlison not scoring.
Yeah.
He's just there
definitely.
for vibes, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we'll move on to another game from the weekend. One down the bottom. Bournemouth finally picking up 3 points against winless. Oh no, not winless Burnley. They did beat Luton, but effectively, does that really count? Everyone beats Luton by the seams of it. But no, Bournemouth pick up 3 points against Burnley, takes them out of the relegation zone. And now it is literally the 3 teams that came up are in the bottom 3.
Yeah, and I think it will finish that way, just in a different order, maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
Big win for Bournemouth. They're the games they have to win if they want to stay up.
Exactly, got big teams around
as simple
you.
as
Philip Billings' goal, fantastic as well.
Yeah, that was a very good goal.
Burnley just looks so naive.
Yeah, they just don't look at it. They don't look good enough. They don't and Bournemouth aren't a very good team, really. So to look way off the park against Bournemouth is seriously saying something, because how would they look if they played against top teams, which you've seen this season, and they look even further off it. So yeah,
exactly. We'll move on. Obviously, just briefly touching on each game, really. Wolves drawing at Newcastle. Newcastle drawing at Wolves, should I say? It was at the Molineux. Wolves look a very decent outfit this season. They do.
Great result for Wolves. Really good result.
Yeah. I do think Wolves look very decent. Obviously, the penalty for Newcastle probably shouldn't have counted. Probably shouldn't have been a pen. I didn't think it was. I'm really impressed with the sort of that front line of Cunha, Neto, despite the fact that he is now injured. We'll see how long he's out for. And Hwang Hee-chan, brilliant front 3. It's unexpected. Obviously, all 3 of them, we would say they're very much bottom half Premier League players, very mediocre. But all 3 have really set the world alight this season, especially for Wolves, and have brought them into a very decent position in the league.
They've just found goal scorers. Like we said it from the beginning, if they get someone to score the goals and they're sharing them out, and that's
someone to create the goals, and that's Pedro Neto, 7 assists this season, I believe.
So he'll be a big miss. He'll be a big miss for them. I think these are the games that if Newcastle want to push top 4 or
they have to win
even further, they have to be winning these. You saw a few weeks ago when we played away at Wolves, we were awful first half. Could have been 2 or 3 down. 1-0 down. We ended up winning 3-1. I think it was. That's the difference, and that's why Newcastle are maybe a bit lower, because they're not getting through some of these sticky periods. They're still in that sort of European hangover a bit, I'd say.
Yeah.
So for them, that's where their issues will be when they have a midweek game in the Champions League. Then they have a weekend game. Those games, I think they'll drop a lot of points in those first games back in the Prem.
Yeah.
But I'd still put them top 6. It's just I wouldn't, as I said, and obviously no Tonali as well. That's been announced. He's going to be out for
10 months.
Out for 10 months. So he'll be a massive miss considering they brought him in. Big miss. They brought him in to fill a gap, and now that gap's still going to be there. So
and that limits their squad depth again, doesn't it?
Yeah. They'll definitely go into January and buy someone. I think they'll pick someone up, I think, to fill another gap, a temporary gap of Tonali being out. Then they'll push on, I think. But
we'll go on to a team.
Was a great result.
Sorry. We'll go on to a team that's also potentially in a struggle at the minute, being West Ham. Hosted Everton yesterday. We're filming this on a Monday, so yesterday. And Everton ran away 1-0 winners. A real smash and grab at the London Stadium for the Toffees.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin scored. Actually managed to stay fit. I didn't watch too much of the game, but I did not expect Everton to win at all. But West Ham have looked a little bit off it in recent weeks. They're very on and off. West Ham, it's very weird. It's very hard to call.
They can play really well. They picked up big points this season. There was a point where they were top of the league, wasn't there? And
of course, right at the start,
yeah, they're not an awful team. We know what they can produce, but when you're facing teams like Everton at home, you have to be winning. You have to be winning, and to not even score as well is criminal. But all respect to Everton and Sean Dyche. They set out a game plan. They got that win. It's an important win for them because we all know where they are probably going to be come around the end of the season. That is the bottom half of the table. So for them to pick up points, especially away at West Ham, can't complain.
Yeah, no, for sure. They'll massive result for them. I think they'd have been happy with a point, to be honest. So the fact they come away with all three is definitely big for them, especially with teams around them losing. It was definitely big for them.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move on. Aston Villa still flying. Luton still pummeling. It took Luton 60 minutes to register a shot, and that was skied by Ross Barkley from 30 yards out. So I think that just says it all about Luton at the minute. They're not creating chances. They're not really looking like scoring goals. Don't get me wrong, Aston Villa are one of the better sides in the league, and especially at Villa Park with their record, 12 home wins on a bounce now. It was always going to be a struggle for Luton to create anything, and their goal wasn't even of their doing. It was a miraculous own goal.
Yeah,
cost me a lot of fantasy points. I've got Martinez in my fantasy team. Ezri Konsa, what is he thinking?
But as you said, it's just Villa. Like that'd be a very difficult place to go for a lot of teams. You won't want to be playing Villa away, and the big teams will drop points there for sure, and they'll take a lot of points. They just look very good, like we've said for weeks.
They didn't even get out of second gear yesterday either. They were
Watkins didn't really do much, and the fact he didn't do much, and they still scored three
goals,
4?
Yeah, 3 goals.
3 goals. Diaby looked very good. Bailey off the bench with an assist. Like it's looking good for them, and
Diaby
was, to be honest,
was the orchestrator yesterday. I must say so.
Yeah,
was very impressed by him. But yeah, no, brilliant result for Villa. We'll go on to no, we won't go on to yours. We'll go on to Brighton, Fulham. I mean, it was a bit of a nothing game, wasn't it? 1-1 draw.
Very good goal by Evan Ferguson.
Brighton have to win these games. Another goal for Evan Ferguson, but Brighton have to win these games if they want to really put a sort of a statement out that we are going to get European football again next season. They have to beat Fulham at home. You know, Fulham are a mediocre club in the Premier League at the minute.
No, I completely agree. But I think it's similar to Newcastle. So obviously, it's obviously different days, but they played Europa League Thursday or conference. Europa League, and they had to rotate their squads, and it showed. They play on a Sunday, and their squad looks tired. They don't look like they're all there, and they've had to rotate such key players and cost them points. As you said, home game against Fulham, you'd back them 9 times out of 10 to win that if they had everyone there, but they had to rotate, and it's not played off nicely for them.
It's not at all, but a big point for Fulham away at Brighton. As they're probably looking for survival this season more than anything. So
I think they'll be. They should be safe.
Right, we'll move on. Adam, I'll give you a chance to make it all about you. We'll move on to your team. Liverpool demolishing Nottingham Forest in what was a very one-sided game. Dominic Szoboszlai being the
outstanding
man of the moment.
Yeah, 2 assists. I don't think Forest had a shot on target pretty much right till the end of the game. Alanga hit the bar, which I don't think even counts. I'm not sure if they even had one all game. We just dominated the ball. I think we showed how well we can be. Szoboszlai, as you said, was very good. Got 2 assists, and he's been unreal since he's come. I think McAllister was very good yesterday as well. Salah obviously got his goal, as he sort of always does. Núñez scored, which is always good. We had a bit of rotation, I suppose, as well. Obviously, with no Robertson out, so we have Tsimikas playing. Jota was starting over probably what would have been Diaz, obviously with the situation going on with his family. And to come away with 3-0, 3 points, clean sheet, you can't really ask for much more after. So that's sort of.
You're definitely looking for top 4 this season. I think that's kind of sort of set. You haven't. A lot of people would have thought you would have dipped off, just purely because of sort of you haven't made any sort of outstanding signing, so to speak. Obviously, Szoboszlai. No, but you know what I mean. But in terms of like, you haven't signed a world-class midfielder at the time. You know, Szoboszlai was not classed as world-class, was he, at the time? Endo, but definitely not. Gravenberch, definitely not. But all of them have stepped up to the plate.
Yeah. Oh, no, I agree. But signing a world-class midfielder, what? If you're signing, a Bellingham or a Modric or someone would be world-class.
Well, you needed that in the summer.
We did, but we've done what we've always done, and we bought players that if they suit the system, they look even better. We had what,
Yeah,
4 or
which you've
5 years
done.
of one exactly, and it's worked really well. So I think top four is I'd be
I'm trying
fairly
to
confident in
compliment
that.
you here. Stop trying to.
You
I'm
are,
not.
but you're writing us
I'm
down.
not trying to
I think you're.
victimize you.
You are no. I think we're in a tight race, and I think people are writing us off too quickly. I think
Yeah,
we've
right. That's like
considering
me saying that Norwich
if
are
it,
still in the title race, 17th in the
but no,
championship.
but realistically, if it wasn't for that Spurs game, which okay could have, even if we get a point from that, we're what, 2 points off the top, a point off the top, having played a lot of big teams away from home. I think and we're only going to get better with the players getting, and we've got a benefit if we're able to completely rest players in the Europa League because we've got such better players that we can like play your B team, your C team almost, and then go again in the weekend, which is a massive benefit. And now that we've won 3 out of 3 in the Europa as well, you're pretty much through, aren't you? Really?
Yeah.
So you can rest, which I think is a massive benefit. If we had something in January, I think we'll be there. But as I said, 3-0 clean
Happy
sheet win.
days.
That's all
Happy
you can
days.
do. Yeah.